take it back, take it back, take it back, take it back. Slide, 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 slide. You finna go live. Slide, you finna go live. Slide, you finna go live. Slide. I like you got some skate. Skates on, skates on, skate. I like you got on some skate. I like you got on some skates. 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 Start for the jet. Let's go.
What's up, Cane fans? We in the building, man. Back for a Canes Talk live show right now with Coach Hayes on the Coach and Coach podcast. Let's make this thing happen. We rocking in the building, man. If you've been missing me for a while, I understand. Been making some moves, been doing some moves, but we kind of in a new spot. Here we are. But you see right here, man, we got this thing counting down right now. Notre Dame in trouble. 192 days, 17 hours, 12 minutes, and 16, 15, 14 seconds before we put belt to behind, if you understand what I'm saying. So we in the building, man. We here to rock and roll. Let's make it happen, man. Shout out to Normal Guy first again, Coach. Yep, just got off of Hayes Street. Had to rock and roll with that. So, yep, that's what he mean by first in the building. Salo. So, what's good, Coach? What's up with you, man? Mad Skills, a member in the building, says second. Pilo. Shout out to the best channel on YouTube, Coach Hayes Football. Appreciate you, brother. And Mad Skills 407 says, damn it, third. D from, is that D from Duval? Huh? What up, Coach? What's up with you, brother? And Juan Manuel, the soap opera that is University of Miami. And that brings me to this piece, man. Let's go ahead and rock this thing. Go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe button. The rumor mill was spinning. I guess it's still kind of spinning a little bit. We talked about this the other day on Hayes Street. Me and Streeter were talking about this. And I'll kick it off with Kevin Beard. Kevin Beard is kind of being reported he doesn't have a contract right now. And I guess he's looking to get one. Apparently, he hasn't gotten one as of yet, from my understanding. So therefore, it's kind of up in the air. Will he be there? Will he not? And that is on the offensive side of the ball. It hasn't been too much movement on the offensive side. Shannon Dawson is still the offensive coordinator for the Miami Hurricanes. Kevin Beard currently is still the wide receiver coach. Oh my God, what's the running back coach name? Forgot his name. Jesus Christ. O-line coach is my man Alex Mirabal in the building. And what's the tight end coach name? The dude that was at Oregon. Oh my God, I'm in bad shape. That's a problem. That ain't my problem. That's their problem. They need to make their name more prominent. But anyway, the running back coach came from, I know he came from USF. Merritt. Thank you, Mad Skills. Merritt. And what's the tight end coach name? It used to be Coach Fields, but they changed it to the other guy. I forgot his name. But he need to tighten up then too. Huh? Because I don't remember his name. Y'all don't either. Let's see if I can count down how fast it take to give me the tight end name. Coach name, that is. Huh? What's that dude's name? But anyway, that's what it is. Look at that. Taking y'all long. Y'all over there Googling it right now. Clock ticking. Let's go tick, tick, tick. What's his name, chat? What's his name, chat? What's his name, chat? And nobody still knows who the special teams coach is either. But we'll leave that there to be said. But on the defensive side, there you go. Woodell. Anyway, tighten up. But on the defense side, basically another overhaul. This is now the third defensive coordinator in 4 years. All right. The third defensive coordinator in 3 years for the Miami Hurricanes. And this would be the fourth year. The third defensive coordinator now going into the 4 years, for the Canes. And I guess that's interesting, right? We started off with Kevin Steele, and we got Lance Guidry. Everybody was happy with him his first year. Then not so much this year, ends up being relieved of his duties. And now we have Corey Heatherman, who was at Minnesota. Also, our linebacker coach left. He decided to go to Missouri, and we replaced him with the defensive coordinator. So he's going to coach linebackers. Our safety coach came in, Zach Etheridge, came from Houston, so he'll be coaching the safeties. Our defensive interior lineman, or D-tackle coach, is Damian Lewis, an alumni former Cane. in the building, coming from Colorado, and previous before that was out of the league. And just recently hired Will Harris from Florida. So there's been a complete, and Jason Taylor is still the only leftover coach from the previous staff on staff right now. So he's the only leftover. I want to hear from you all today in regards of how you feel about this. I've said this many a times on this show, and we talk about coordinators having an opportunity to bring some of their guys to help implement coaching and plays and philosophy and setting the culture, whether it's defensively or offensively, whatever. And again, we don't have a position coach that's tied to our coordinator. I think that's been Coach Cristobal's MO for a long time. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. But what I do know, and I'll just say this from my experience in coaching, especially when you're trying to implement a lot of things, and I've said this before, football coaches understand football, but it's the nuances that count, right? It's the little things that make a difference. It's the relationship. It's the chemistry, the continuity between the coaches. And when you work with people, typically you start to become that hand in glove type thing, right? I know how to correct something before the coordinator even gets mad about it because I know what makes him tick. I know what he likes. I know what he doesn't like. But if I'm new to his system, or if I'm new being around him, I maybe think I'm doing something right and he doesn't really want it that particular way. That's okay. That's part of the learning process. But what happens is, as you start working together, you start learning more and more about people, right? It's kind of like that relationship, right? You date the young lady, and the more you're around her, or the more she's around you, or him, rather, maybe some ladies watching, you start learning more and more and more and more about them. And that's the same thing in coaching. That's the same exact thing in coaching. And I think, I don't want to say it's a hindrance. I don't know if it's a hiccup. And this is something I want to ask you guys. I want to talk to you all about in regards to how you all feel about that. What do you think in regards to coaches coming and not being able to bring people with them in that sense? And is it productive? I think that's the real question. Is this going to be productive? Now, let me give my overall about this. I'll go ahead and throw the number up right now, 862-799-9956. We're going to do an hour tonight. No straight line. But we're going to do an hour tonight. I don't know what this defense is going to be like. I have not a clue. Shout out to Coach Corey Heatherman, the new DC. Yes, he was at Minnesota, and I know some other podcasts have kind of broken down his games when he was at Minnesota and how he played against Penn State and all of that good stuff. But I don't think I have enough time on task to give a true evaluation. So like always, I'm going to hold my thoughts until I see the spring game. But I don't have a way too early prediction about this defense because it's a lot of new moving parts. We'll see. We'll see. You know, shout out to Juan Manuel in the building again. He says it will be better than last year. That's our hope. And that's what I'm hoping for and I'm praying for. I really am. Right? But again, I don't know. I don't come on my channel and I don't come on this channel, these YouTube streets, and just come on here and say anything because it sounds good. I am a fan of the Miami Hurricanes, but I'm not a fanatic. I am not fanned out where I don't think about this thing realistically. And I just think through my 25 years experience of coaching, I can't speak that way. I can't speak in glaring things if I don't have any background. And then there's some guys like Kevin Steele and Charlie Strong and that whole coaching staff that we could say, hey, this could be da 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 da, because we have a lot of background on them. But it didn't work. We went 5-7. We got think about what we had on that staff. National championship coaches on that staff. Gold jacket wearers on that coaching staff. Right? NFL experienced guys on that coaching staff. Broyles Award winners on that coaching staff. Top recruiters on that coaching staff. And we ended up 5-7. For whatever reason. I don't care if y'all want to go back and blame Manny. Those were Manny's kids. Whatever. However, I think chemistry and continuity play a big role in coaching. And when you look at hiring, this was interesting. And this was a little bit different at Miami than you see in most places. A lot of the hires are always tied to someone. Here's an example. Brian Williams. Shout out to Brian Williams. He's from the crib. He worked with Mike Loxley before, was the DC at Maryland. Fine. That was their tie. I guess he got released. Now he's at Jacksonville State. But guess what? When he was at Jacksonville State, he worked with the head coach. Where were they at before when they were at Jacksonville State? Florida State, I believe. I think they worked together at Florida State. So there's usually always some type of web that somebody's connected somehow, some way. But when it comes to Miami, it is very hard to see the tie and how things align when it comes to the coaches. I don't know if y'all agree or disagree with that. Let me know what your thoughts on. So like when I look at Corey Heatherman, okay, he's tied through Greg Schiano. Greg Schiano was at Rutgers. Coach Cristobal coached with him at Rutgers. Schiano may have given him the thumbs up. Hey, this is a good hire. Okay. But now where does Corey Heatherman tie into maybe Jason Taylor? He doesn't. He was already on the staff. Fine. No problem. Okay. Where does Corey Heatherman tie into Will Harris? I don't think they've ever worked together. Okay, fine. Where does Corey Heatherman tie into Zach Etheridge? I don't know. There's no tie. I don't see them working together. Where does he tie into Damian Lewis? He doesn't. But I know Damian Lewis was is an alum of Miami. So I think that could become an issue. And I think that's where a lot of things happen. I always used to bring up the Voltron thing, right? They're all good separate, but when you put them together, they were a force to be reckoned with. And I think there's the issue. What do they look like when you put all these guys together? I don't know yet. I can't speak to it. I have not a clue. So I'm eager for the spring game. I saw that it's going to be, I think, on the 12th of April. Again, back on the soccer field. I think that's criminal that fans can't enjoy the spring game, man. I don't know. I'm not here to whine and complain about the spring right now. It's too far out. But we're 2 months away from the spring game. And it's going to be on the soccer field. So only a handful of people get to go. I guess we got to watch it on Bally's network or something. That's what it is. So that's that. Anyway, I got to call in. Give me 1 second. 7416. Let me wrap this up and I'll definitely get to you. So I say all that to say, I think we have good pieces. But again, I don't know how they work together. And that's going to be the true question. I think offensively, you're going to see a rise. You're going to see, again, this thing goes how Carson Beck goes, right? I think his surgery will be fine. His arm will be fine. He should be fine. But the offense is going to go how Carson Beck goes. That's typically how it is when it comes to football. The car moves as the quarterback moves. But on the defensive side, I don't know. It'll be very interesting to find out. Super interesting to find out. Let me go ahead and take some of these calls. And there's 76 people in the building and climb. Go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe button. feel free, 862-799-9956. Go ahead and hit the button. Let's chop this up. I want to hear, like I said, your thoughts on the coaching staff, how it's been assembled, because I think they've already debunked the Will Harris leaving to the NFL. I saw an article from Gabby talking about that. So I think that's done for. That's not a rumor mill spin anymore. I think Kevin Beard is still spinning in the rumor mill, and I hope to God he gets a job at the Hurricane, gets a contract rather at the Hurricanes, and keep that thing rolling. Because I think he's done a great job. Like I said, my only beef was, wide receiver blocking on the screens. But other than that, here we are. All right, 7416 in the building. Appreciate it. Let's get this thing rocking. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from. What's your name?
What's up, Coach? This is Tony. I was on talking about this hire and Lance Guidry and all of that stuff. Probably about 3-4 weeks ago, maybe.
Okay.
And I kind of agree with you. I'm from Virginia. I'm a Canes fan from Virginia. Been a Canes fan. I kind of agree with you, man. That it's no ties. I was hoping that he would grab the secondaries coach that everybody was talking about. He was going to bring the secondaries coach. I don't know if the secondaries coach got the defensive coordinator job at Minnesota or whatever, but I was hoping he would bring some guys because, like you saying, if you speak the same language, it makes everything a lot easier.
Correct.
But in saying that, though, like you saying, it's like it's Mario's MO to go out. He hires a coordinator, then he's like, I'm gonna your assistants.
Mhm.
And I believe in Mario, but I
Uh-oh, did we lose you? Tony. Tony, you in the portal, Tony? Let me know that y'all can hear him. Tony, I think you're in the portal, brother. I'm going to hang this up on you, Tony, because you're gone. Hopefully you'll call right back. I'm going to hang this up and then call back in, Tony. I thought you were making a good point. Yeah, I'm glad you could hear him, but he just went out. Nope. Try to call back in tonight. Nope. I don't know what happened yesterday, man. It was tripping. But if you could call back in, nope, it'd be great. I appreciate it. I do want you to get your opportunity to chop it up. But I don't know. He was talking and he just went out. But everything is still rocking on this. All right. I think it's him calling back. All right, here we go. Tony.
yeah, I don't know how we got. I don't know. I don't know how we got hung up, but
Okay.
how we hung up. But I was hoping. I'm worried that he lets guys coach and call their schemes and stuff, but he doesn't let them pick their assistants. And that worries me too. Now, in saying that though, I feel like the defensive coaches that Mario has picked for him are really good coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the talent that we have, if they could get on the same page, that's why I put in the chat. It's probably a lot of long nights and them trying to get on the same page and him trying to get them to understand his philosophy and his expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it is a lot of long nights and him telling them what he expects out of them as far as coaching drills and techniques and just everything that he wants, and he does not take no for an answer as far as what he wants, because if he can do that to him and get the coaches to be on the same accord,
Right.
then this thing will take off. But everybody wants to. I mean, I could be wrong, but everybody wants to be a coordinator or a head coach at some point, and they have their own thoughts about doing things too.
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to be like, okay, you know what you're doing, we're going to do everything you want us to do to the letter, or they're going to be like, well, maybe I'll do it this way. Maybe we should do it this way, and it be conflict. And from what I understand, that was the problem with Gaddis.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was so bullheaded and stubborn that he wouldn't listen to anybody. And I hope that this guy, I mean, but that's the opposite of what I'm saying though, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know, man. I was hoping that he could bring some guys over and they could be on the same page and he wouldn't have to, work hard to get everybody on the same page. And maybe they'll be all ears and be like, listen, you've done it at a high level at Minnesota. Your defensive numbers speak for himself. We'll buy in.
And
So
and and, and again, to that point though,
I'm
Tony.
worried about the same thing you're worried about.
Well, I'll say that to that point, Tony. I think you make a valid point, right? I've always said this too about the coaching world. It is a room full of egos. It is testosterone filled. It is a bunch of guys that have done it and been successful in their own right. And now you have to listen to somebody else. I always say, if you want to see a catastrophic coaching staff, you ever want to see a coaching staff that is a pure debacle, go to an all-star game. Be a coach on the all-star coaching staff. It is a debacle, bro. You want to know why? Because all of those all-star coaches were all winners in their own right, but only one defensive coordinator or one offensive coordinator or one head coach. So now here's what happens. The defensive coordinator is going to go in there and say, hey, guys, we're going to run my 4-3. But the linebacker coach comes from a 3-3-5 system. And he's like, well, I mean, why are we going to run the 4-3? Because we got 3-3-5. I mean, look at these kind of linebackers we have. We could do it. It is a pure stroke. Here's the worst part about it. If any coach thinks that these players are going to learn your system in 2 days, you out your doggone mind. Coaches can't just go there and enjoy the moment. The ego jumps in the way, and that's the problem. So it kind of happens that same way when you get the the old saying, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. I hope I can't get canceled for saying it, but you know what I mean? Where you got too many cooks in the kitchen. Let me say that. Too many cooks in the chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, and I'm a youth league basketball coach, okay. And I've been under somebody's assistant coach that if anybody's listening and basketball, in today's world of basketball, you don't allow the ball to get in the middle of the court. You do not allow the ball to get in the middle of the court. Well, this guy's telling our kids, we want to force the ball to the middle. And I'm thinking, no, you want to push it to the baseline corner. The goal is to get the ball to push the ball to the baseline corner and get 3 defenders, both sidelines, the baseline, the sideline, and you. That's 3 defenders. So, and I got a guy telling the kids to do it the total opposite. So
Tony, hold on right there. Coaches, Stop right there, Tony. The guy that you're talking about, what was his success level?
He was a baseball coach. He was a baseball coach. But my whole point of saying that is you may have a guy who on that staff who is used to doing it a certain way and they've had success doing it, right? And then somebody's telling you a total different technique, maybe hand placement and getting off a block or steps going, attacking an offensive lineman. So he may be thinking one thing and Jason Taylor may be like, well, man, I'm a Hall of Famer.
I got a gold jacket doing it this way.
That's not how I teach it. Yeah, that's not how I teach it.
Yeah.
So those are the conflicts that I'm worried about. And by all means, this coaching staff that Mario has put together, I love it. I love it. But I question the continuity thing. Are they all going to be on the same accord?
Gotcha.
And what do they have? Like you said, spring starts, in a couple of weeks?
Yes.
So now that the staff has been found and put together, the entire staff has been put together last week, right? So how much dialogue? And I just pray that they've been burning the candles and the night oil, just chopping all this up and just getting on the same page. Right. I hope they do, because if they do, and the talent that we have, we'll have a lot of fun this year, just like we had last year, and our defense will stand up.
Yeah. Like I
So
said, I mean, it's interesting you said that, and that's a perfect example of there's two different ways to skin a cat, but I don't know if you can skin the cat two different ways at the same time, right? And so, that kind of lays out what I'm talking about. Um, in that sense where you're saying this coach is saying that. And here's the thing: if he's saying push the ball to the middle of the field, middle of the court, he was taught that somewhere. If you're saying he was a baseball coach, somebody,
yeah.
maybe they were successful at that, or they learned that, it went down the chain, and then they taught him that. So that's what he knows. So now, right there is a perfect example of conflicting philosophies. So now, if the head men are confused, the damn player's confused.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so,
yeah.
that's all I was just saying. That's all I would just kind of put that out there, and
Yeah, and I'll give you another example.
Mhm.
Coaching youth league football, dabbling coaching youth league football.
Okay.
Quarterback throws a swing route. Kid catches it, gets 7 yards. The coach calls a timeout and tells the quarterback to do the same thing. I go whisper in the quarterback's ear, look at the swing route, and then throw the ball across the middle. He'll be wide open, I promise you. Get that pass. He looks at all. He drops back, looks at the swing route, hits the guy across the middle. He runs to the 5-yard line. So when you see something as a coach, do you sit back and let it fail? Or do you say, you know what, man, I know that something else will work.
So
I know it.
So okay, let me ask you a quick question before I do that. I got 11:05 on the line. Give me 1 second. So right now, let's talk hierarchy. Who was in charge? Were you in charge? Were you the OC or was he the OC?
He was the OC.
Okay. So now this is, man, I appreciate your honesty here, Tony.
And I'm telling him, you can't keep running. They know that you're gonna throw the swing route.
Right.
And he's like, no, we can run it. And I said, you know what, man? And full disclosure, my kid was the quarterback. So I'm like, don't do that, Tony. Antonio, don't do that. Gotcha. Throw it across the middle. Look it off and throw it across the middle. We worked on this stuff. So he looks at me and I'm like, trust me.
All right. So hold on real quick. But right there is what they call cross coaching. There's a term for
it. Yeah, exactly.
And in cross coaching, that's where you have issues, because now what has just happened right there is that player, I'm not going to just say because he's your son, let's just switch it, let's just take it back to collegiate level. That player is now conflicted on who he should listen to. So when, just for example, when Coach Heatherman says blitz like this and Jason Taylor says blitz like that, and it worked with Jason Taylor, but his position coach or his DC is telling him to do it a certain way, see, that's what happens. And then here go the worst part. Every time you do it, it's not going to be perfect, right? It just happened to work out and you got to the 5. But what happened if you would have done? Yeah. But what happens if you do that, Tony, and you throw a pick 6 and the swing route was wide open?
Yeah.
Now, because now who looks like the idiot? The offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Why would he call it? And the swing route was wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the problems happen right there. And that's where egos have to be, put in check. You know what I mean? And I get it. I totally understand why you said, I know why you said it, because, hey, I saw something, see something. But that's also the relationship where instead of you going to the player, if you and that coach had that right relationship, I could lean to him and say, hey, coach, just tell him to hit it across the middle. Now he's only hearing one voice. He's not hearing 2. So the player is not conflicted.
Yeah, but in that season, that was the problem.
There you go.
Like I would like when we were having success, and I would give a suggestion, it wasn't heard. But the minute we started getting our butts kicked, you coming down and you're asking me, and I'm like, listen, let's just stick to the script. Let's just stick to the script of what you were doing. Like, you need to be telling them what you expect. I was like, no, no,
Sure.
no, no. Tell me what you think. No, you go ahead. You go ahead. I was like, and then when I would give him a suggestion, he wouldn't do it.
And they would.
So then when we really needed a win, I was like, no, we can get this done. We can get this done. And I undermined him. I did. I cut him in the knees. I did.
Ooh,
And
okay.
I got lucky. And it worked out. But that's what I'm worried about with Mario's track record of always picking the coordinator, and then he's picking the assistants.
Gotcha. Well,
That's what worries me about that. Because like you said, and like I said, it's egos in the room. Who's going to really check their ego? Hopefully that they're chopping it up and egos are checked at the door, and they're thinking, if we succeed, we all win. We all get more money. We all get coordinator jobs. We all maybe move on to the NFL. But they have to be on the same page. They got to get in the room and they got to clear the air and chop it up. If they don't, it'll be the same exact thing that we had last year. And with Kevin Steele, it doesn't matter who's the coordinator. And I believe that Guidry's first year, I mean, look at what we had. And I understand. We lost a lot in that secondary. We lost Cam Kitchens. We lost James Williams. We lost an unsung guy. What is his name? The slot corner. What's his name? How did I forget his name? But the slot corner.
Mish Powell?
He was number 23.
No.
2 years ago.
23. He left.
How did I forget his name? He graduated.
Yeah, I forgot his name too.
But he'd always played though, and he ended up being moved to slot corner. And we had solid corners on the edge. We had a veteran guy in the slot, and we had 2 pro safeties.
Right.
And we had an all-world freshman. So that year, Guidry's first year, and we had a lot of injuries, but we had the back end sewed up. Last year, it really all fell apart after the South Florida game. It really fell apart.
Corey Couch. Yes, thank you, Coach T.
Corey Couch.
Thank you,
It really fell apart.
Gotcha, Tony. Tony, let me do it because I got another call on here. Go ahead, finish your last piece.
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing, man.
No,
It's always a pleasure, man. You keep doing your thing.
No, finish your last piece. Nigga.
It just fell apart. So how many new coordinators how many new assistant coaches did we have last year? The linebackers coach, right? And a guy that he brought in. So were they all on the same page last year?
I think Lance Guidry, the only person he brought in because it was late, was Shevis Jackson.
Was the cornerbacks coach. Yeah.
Yep.
And Shevis Jackson supposedly had worked under him, but he didn't work under them the year before. He was still at Marshall.
Right.
So he brings in. So Mario brings in the linebackers, Coach Nichols, and Shevis Jackson. So that's the back end, and that's the group that was the worst for us. The back end.
Right.
Last year.
Well, we'll definitely check it
out.
So
I totally agree with you, Coach. I totally agree with you. I'm worried about it too. But I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna let somebody else get on. Hey, keep doing your thing, man. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you letting me get on.
Tony from Virginia, man.
All right,
keep calling them plays across the middle, dog.
Take care, brother.
All right, man. All right, Tony from DC. Real quick, I'm coming to you. This is my man. All right, Jamal from DC. Chris Bradford says, to be fair, Saban had a lot of staff turnover too, which is true. Very true. I think the only difference is the stability of the culture. He had been there, 14 years, whatever it was. So, yeah, he did have some staff turnover, but you have to remember, a lot of his staff, when he first started it with Kirby, Smart, and those guys, right? They all came together, right? If you look at Nick Saban, he don't go places without people he knows, right? From LSU to the Dolphins. He took them same guys with him to the Dolphins. From the Dolphins to them same guys with him to Alabama. And then go look at Kirby Smart's staff. A lot of those guys came off that same tree, right? Go look when Will Muschamp had a job. They came off that tree. So these guys always pull from each other. So I get what you're saying, Chris. You're 100% correct. But it is a tad bit different, But you're not wrong. It is a lot of turnover there. All right, man. We got my man Jamal from DC. Talk to us, baby. What's on your mind?
Coach, what up? Hey, man, what's the actual question that's on the floor? Because the last convo I came in a little late. In the last convo, I kind of was trying to put together the pieces of where y'all was going.
Well, you're a little bit low. Can you speak into the phone or speakerphone? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Bluetooth.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, 100% better.
Yeah, and I was saying, what was the actual entire question on the floor? Because I was trying to put bits and pieces together from the last conversation. It seemed like y'all talking about like nervousness with just like Mario putting together coaches instead of it being like the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator finding his guys. Am I on track?
Yeah. So basically, what I was saying, I was kind of talking about the defensive overhaul, and I was saying kind of Coach Cristobal's MO when it comes to hiring. It seems like he likes to bring his guys in, or he does the hiring, and the coordinators don't have an opportunity to bring some of their guys with them to help with the implementation of plays, philosophy, scheme, all of the different things that go into coaching besides just X's and O's and 2 feet in the bag. So I guess the question is, do you think that could be an issue for the Miami Hurricanes going forward? And then second is, what is your overall thoughts about the coaching staff?
Okay, cool. Good question. So I say the first, can it be trouble? I mean, I think it could. You know what I mean? It could if not managed correctly. And I think somebody said it when you was repeating what someone was saying. I think they were kind of going that route. With Mario Cristobal, he came up under Saban's tree as well. Mm-hmm. So some of the things I noticed is a lot of his style is of what you've seen Saban do. But the difference is Saban had a culture for a long time, like you just noted too. Mm-hmm. And like Saban is, he had the top coaches coming in. Not to say our coaches are necessarily bad, but like Chip Kelly went to Ohio State. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna get the premier of the premier. Like some of the best coaches in college football right now, head coaches, were assistant coaches for Nick Saban. Can we say that people right now that were our assistant coaches, yeah, they may get there down the line, but they're not there right now. You know what I mean? Like our head coach was like the O-line coach there. He had Lane Kiffin there. He had Kirby Smart there. He had like people who could run their own program, but on his staff. So they were getting the premier coaching. I think Mario has that same philosophy. I just don't know if we're winning enough yet to get those kind of, big draws and stuff like that, like those kind of people. Like if you look at the season that, what's his name? Chip Kelly just had at Ohio State, that season led him to the NFL. You look at Shannon Dawson, what a damn good season as well. Probably, outside of winning the championship, of course, statistically better than Chip Kelly's season. Mm-hmm. He wants to be a head coach, but that didn't lead to head coaching opportunities that he think would suffice for the NFL. So I say all that to say that, I think Mario has a strategy. We just have to wait and see. It could be problematic though, like you guys said, because, I heard, I forgot where I heard that, but they were saying for Guidry, some of the problems on defense was that, everybody wasn't on the same page in terms of the staff. Like you guys said earlier, some people wanted to do this, some people wanted to do that. And that could be problematic, as you know, because, we used to watch the games and we sitting there like, why are we not getting no pressure? Or why is the defensive line doing these type of stunts? Why, we were questioning a lot of things. Like, why aren't we getting pressure? Why is this happening? Probably because, Guidry's style is one way, and then Jason Taylor, even though a Hall of Famer, how great he is, he may have his own style that he knows how to maximize. So it's not, like to you guys' point, it's not necessarily about putting together an all-star roster unless you have like this super superior talent, unless you have like Cam Wards everywhere. where they can make up for the gaps.
There you
But if
go.
you don't have that, it's going to show.
There you go.
It's going to show.
There you go.
Like, so
Yeah.
that's what I think. So unless we going to start getting number one classes every year and we getting all types of Jeremiah Smiths where they could still be elite with subpar coaching, then that could be problematic, you know?
Yeah.
And
I just don't think Miami right now in the coaching, in the college, in college football, we don't, outside of us diehard Cane fans, we don't have the same, the University of Miami does not have the same cachet as it used to have. The name doesn't ring the same. Even though people know who we are, they know what we were, it's not as attractive as it once was. I think that's a fair statement. I'm talking about especially from the coaching perspective, right? You probably had people knocking down a Jimmy Johnson door and a Dennis Erickson door and even a doggone Larry Coker's door to be on the coaching staff. You know, now it's like, I don't know how to explain it because you don't have that. Like, think about it. Chip Kelly said, I'm finna stop being a head coach to be an OC. He want to go to Ohio State. I'm out. I'm out of UCLA. I'm finna go to think about that. This dude was at Oregon. This dude was the head coach at Philly. This dude was the head coach at UCLA. And this dude had one of the most prolific offenses when it comes to, you know, amount of plays and all that stuff. And he said, nah, I'm finna drop this and go be the OC. Now, if that ain't checking your ego at the door.
Well, I think he got fired, coach, but I get your point, though.
Yeah.
I think he got fired.
But what I'm saying is he still could have went and become a coach somewhere. I believe that somebody would have hired him. I do believe that. But I think he was like, look, all right, Ryan Day, I'll come to you for a year. Let me do this, boom, boom, boom. I got some moves to make. But I'm just saying, we talk about checking your ego because now look at what's happening. You have Ryan Day who has his system. Chip Kelly has his system. They had to meet somewhere in the middle, and they did the ultimate job is won the natty with it. So somebody checks ego somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Like, even if I got fired, Ryan Day's a head coach successfully. Chip Kelly's been a head coach. I mean, successful, I guess, arguably, but whatever. And they came together and became Voltron. That's what I'm saying. Like, and then they went and found a good defensive guy and got some good defensive players. But that's my whole point is they made it work when they both could have come in with their own philosophies respectfully.
But that also goes to what you just said, though, your lead point, though, Coach. It's about the cachet that the program has. And the reason I say that, if you go to ever so Ohio State, let's just keep it straight. Once they cheat us out that national championship, they've been just doing their thing. But ever since Ohio State has been a premier program in the last, let's just say 25 years, like a super premier program, last 25 years, the name holds a different weight. Where, like I said, like how Nick Saban had Bama, where they're going to get the best for the best coaches, where it's kind of easy to check your ego because you know by being on that coaching staff, if you win, the opportunity is going to present. If you're in Miami right now, because Mario still has to build this thing up, if you're in Miami right now and we win, you may not get the Ole Miss job right away. You might get Southern Miss.
There you go.
You might not get Oregon.
You might get Rice.
Portland
you might get
State.
a Rice offer.
Yeah, you will get Rice or something. Like, you're not gonna get. So I think what has to happen for Miami to, and let's just say to just get up there again. I'm not gonna compare it to what it once was, because typically when things happen, they are what they are, and you can never reduplicate that. But to get back up there to a level of superior notoriety, we have to have more seasons like we had last year in terms of like how we looked, in terms of like Cam Ward, the star power. Like, you have to have somebody who gravitates. Like, we haven't had, besides, Cam Ward being all world, we haven't had nobody that the country was attracted to in 20-something years. Like, we haven't had a person where it's like, man, I want to be like him. You got NFL players doing Cam Ward dance. You got NBA players. You got the little kids where it's almost like, I want to be like Cam Ward. We haven't had that. Miami has to get more of that, more of those people where the young dudes in the community want to be like him, where ESPN can't get enough of that person, whether you decide to have a good boy image in the media or a bad boy image where the media just always have to put the camera in your face. Until Miami becomes that, it's going to be tough. And the other thing that happened that people don't talk about, which was major, is them knocking down the Orange Bowl. Because all of these other schools, like Miami has a prestige, but it's almost like when you think about them talking about like old civilizations where what it once was, you hear about it, but you can't really touch it, right? If you go to Alabama, you can touch that stadium. If you go to Florida State, you can touch that stadium. If you go to whichever stadiums are supposed to be the best ones, Tennessee, all these other stadiums, you can actually touch that and feel the essence of the history there. In Miami, you can feel the essence of the history on Green Tree, but that's about it. You're not going to feel it at the Hard Rock Stadium because that's not the stadium that Ed Reed played in. That's not the stadium Sean Taylor played in. That's not the stadium where championships was won in. You following me, Coach? So as much as, you know, the media, what do you want to call it? The social media teams, and they have to say, hey, everybody pack the Rock. Everybody come to the Rock. You ain't even tell everybody to come to the Orange Bowl. You didn't have to. So it's stuff like that where that's telling you're trying to cultivate something, but it's just not there. They better build another stadium closer to campus or something, because all of those little things kind of matter. And, you know, and I want the best for the program, but like all of those little things matter, Coach, in my opinion. To getting the U back there. Like, you have to have something that's touchable. Like, you know, where people can go and be like,
so
oh,
I hear
man.
Okay,
such
Jamel.
and such plays
so here's my thing, Jamel. I hear you. I think it's valid, but I don't think it's a priority when I'm talking about the stadium.
Well, no.
I don't think the stadium within itself, I hear that. But at the end of the day, I don't think the stadium within itself is how do I explain it? I don't think it's a huge enough percentage in why we win and don't win, why kids play hard and don't play hard. I'll say this: things change, things adapt, X, Y, and Z. The Dolphins used to play in the Orange Bowl, and when they got their own stadium, right? So if you look at it, the University of Miami and the Dolphins have seemed to always, at some point, share a stadium, right? The Dolphins and the Hurricanes played at the Orange Bowl. And then Joe Robbie came along and built the stadium. Now, we just added to it. I just think, like, I hear you and I understand it, but I think it's so low on the totem pole of priorities in regards to, like, I don't believe Cam Ward or I don't believe any of these players were like, we're not winning because we ain't in the Orange Bowl.
No, I don't think that's. No, don't get it twisted, Coach. I'm not
trying to be funny. I'm just trying to think like it's. I just think
I wasn't saying that.
No, right. But even if it's closer to, hell, the Orange Bowl wasn't all that close to the state, to the campus. It really wasn't. The Orange Bowl was what, 12 miles from the stadium? 15, like, it wasn't walking distance.
How long would it take you to get there on game day?
Huh?
How long would it take you to get there on game day from campus?
For who? How long would it take for who?
For like I'm talking about for like students from campus. How long would it take, you think?
Bro, it's 10,000 students. Watch this. It's 10,000 students that go to the University of Miami. So even with 10,000, I'm talking about, let's take the students, let's take the grad students. Let me find out right now. Let's take every student, right?
What about the community? Do you think it was easier for the community to get the local community?
Yes, it is way easier. Okay, here we go. In the fall of 2003, the University of Miami had 19,593 students enrolled. That include 12,500 undergrad and 6,000 postgrad. So let's just say 20,000 students. Now we know graduate students, but let's just say we took all of them. That's 20,000 students.
Uh-huh.
And they came to every home game. It's nothing. That's nothing. So what we're saying is, how long does it take them to get to the game? They actually bust them kids over there. But whatever. I understand most of them got cars. They got the money. But yes, I understand that. But for the local community, the Hard Rock is the ideal place. I hate to say it, but it is, because you can enter it from all aspects. You're not caught up on traffic. You can exit from the Turnpike, 27th Avenue, 199th. You got east and west, 199th, north and south, 27th Avenue. If you really know your way, you can get back through the Bajas and get back through off 37th and 40th. So have you ever been on campus, a campus to a game like Florida or Tennessee or things like that? Have you ever been on those campuses at a game?
Nah, not though. I've been to Syracuse though. We played Syracuse. We damn lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you ever go to like Florida, Tennessee, any of these big stadiums, whatever, and the stadium is on campus, it is a God blessed nightmare, dog. There's no parking. You got to park up on a hill on the grass. You know what I mean? Like, because you're talking about 100,000 seat stadiums, people trying to tailgate.
Right.
You can't. The Hard Rock is perfect parking. It's all aligned. It's perfect for tailgating. You can walk up and down aisles. You can go. Everybody's right there around the stadium. But if you go, you might be 15, 20 minute, 30-minute walk from the stadium because you're that far out at Florida State. Walking down Tennessee Street. So for the community, for Miami, I think the stadium is ideal. The travel to get there is not bad. The in and out is not bad. And I think it's expensive. Don't get me wrong. Right? I think the parking is ridiculous. I think it's too much, but whatever. But the experience is very easy for the average fan.
So then what do you think needs to happen to make it a place where, we had some games this year that we sold out, but like, well, that's a consistent thing. Do you think it just need to be, is it the quality of the opponent? People are I don't care to see that. Is it the product? Is it a mixture of the two?
I think it's the same thing when we was at the Orange Bowl. I don't know why people thought the Orange Bowl was sold out every week. It was not sold out every week.
Gotcha, okay.
And then Flaw says right here, Coach Hayes is talking about the fan perspective, but what about the athletes? They don't even really have a home. That's not great. So I hear that as well. And I understand what you're saying, Flaw. But this has always been your home. Just like the Orange Bowl. I mean, the Orange Bowl was shared
also,
with the Dog. The Orange
Bowl,
Bowl,
though, Coach.
Huh?
Also, if we're gonna be honest, your home really more the practice facility in Green Tree than it would be a stadium, because you're only gonna really be in the stadium but so many times. You know what I mean? You more in a practice facility than anything. But I understand the point you're making.
Yeah, no, right. I mean, you in that stadium 6 times a year. Roughly. For us, it would be 8 times this year. We got 8 home games. It's not a bad seat in the house for the Dolphins, I don't think. Whatever. I do think a travesty is that the Dolphins made all the seats teal in there. See, when it was orange, it was kind of like the Orange Bowl. You could get away with both teams playing in the same stadium, right? It's kind of like when Pittsburgh used to play at Heinz Field. They had gold. Both of them had, one was gold and black, one was gold and blue. They could kind of get away with it. But unfortunately, the folks in Coral Gables not going to let you build no stadium down there. Can I tell you that, much as a Cane fan I am, if I had a $10 million house, I'd be the first one in line to check no. Y'all ain't finna build no stadium around here to mess up my doggone property value. Damn a hurricane. Straight up. And then think about it, in Coral Gables, you can't even cut your grass on Sunday. Like, they're not having it. So, like I said, we could talk about it, but there's never going to be a stadium on campus. That's never going to happen.
Right. But the campus ain't big enough for that.
They could trust me. They could find a place. Trust me. They gotta. I've seen construction. You be like, how in the world they put a building? And that thing used to be a little parking lot, and it'd be a full-fledged. There's enough for a stadium, but they're not going to ever do. They're not going to allow it. These people pay too much, bro. I'm not finna do it, but that's what it is. And then and again, I think for the Hard Rock Stadium, I think it's ideal because you do have Cane fans coming from West Palm Beach, Broward, Dade, Homestead. It's, even though it's North Miami, right at the County Line Road, it is central to the primary fan base, I think. You know what I mean? From the Broward, Palm Beach fan base, from the Dade all the way down to Homestead fan base. So it's kind of neutral in that sense. But yeah, man, if they ever put a stadium on campus, bro, you can't find a place to park. Think about this. I don't know if you've ever been at Green Tree. You can't hardly find a place to park at Green Tree when they have like the coaching camps or the 7-on-7 at UM. Think about this. You can't hardly find a parking space on campus for a 7-on-7. Imagine a football game, bro. No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Not at all. But yeah, man, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's, like I said, it's that only game day. It's a lie. Let me see. Here we go. It's not true. Texas players are always in the stadium, practice, taking photos, working out, off season. It's their home.
Well, that's probably because Texas. So Texas got the some of the stadiums, like the athletic facilities and all that, be attached to it. So in that case, then that makes sense. Like if you got the athletic center attached to the stadium, you know what I mean? Where they got the little tunnel, and then that'd be the same locker room, and they come out through the stadium. So in that case, yeah, that makes sense for Texas. But where Miami is right now, if we look at the campus, that couldn't be the case unless they built the underground railroad to the stadium. Because where you gonna put? You ain't put the stadium next to Green Tree. That's impossible. Like that is super impossible. There's no space for that right there. So, but I mean, yeah, there's a point. Like I've seen a big house before and all of that, and their stuff is attached. And it's certain schools and stuff is attached. Nebraska as well, but I think Miami's just like unique in a way, and they have to just.
It is. Remember, it's a private school.
Use that to the advantage, like the uniqueness. You have to use that to your advantage instead of letting it be something that's your disadvantage.
Well, you have to remember too, a private school, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that are a lot different.
Yeah.
Hell, USC go through the same thing, and you're in a major city. You're not in a college town. You are in a metropolitan city. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's very rare. Like UCF. I think UCF has done a great job. They used to play at the Citrus Bowl. We call it the Citrus Bowl. It's Camping World Stadium, whatever. Now and then they built a thing on campus. But USC goes through the same thing. They go through that same thing. But I just know where the University of Miami is, it ain't happening. I don't care who you are. Now, I do think it was criminal that they tore down. I think it's criminal,
right? None of these campus or stuff on campus, right?
Who?
UCLA and Cal.
UCLA. Don't they play it? They play it. What do they play at? The Rose Bowl? Not the Rose Bowl.
No, I think they do play at the Rose Bowl, right? UCLA.
Yeah, but I don't think they play. They may. I don't know. Let's see. UCLA Stadium.
It's not on campus.
No, because No, they play at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not the only ones.
Let me see. Watch this. Rose Bowl.
I think Cal's may be on campus. I think Cal's may be on
they
campus. I know UCLA isn't.
Cal Berkeley is actually the school. California Memorial Stadium is where Cal plays at. They play California Memorial Stadium, what it's called. So I think, UCLA and USC play there as well. But anyway, I hear it. You know what I mean, Jamal? Like, and I totally get where you're coming from, but I just think that is, it's one of them things. I mean, I know it's probably a big money thing that they had to probably spend a gang of money in renting that stadium and changing it over, especially if the Dolphins have a game that next day on a Sunday, because even the end zone is not even fun, right? Like, it just says Miami. It's not even doctored up nice and cool because it's got to be orange and white because they got to play the next day. And so I totally understand that. I totally understand, but it's what it is. And y'all clap it up for my man Shad. Shad been a member in the building for 17 months, man. Clap it up for Shad. And Shad, let me tell you something, brother. Shad said Miami can play home games at Bunch Park. Shad, go to bed. And go to bed immediately. Man, that's a little league park, man.
Hey, hey, coach. Hey, you see? Hey, shout out to Clinton Portis. He about to be the running back coach in my alma mater.
I saw that, man. So Clinton Portis, the running back coach of what? Dell State, right?
Yeah, Delaware State, man. Hornet Pride.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Clinton Portis, man. Gonna be the running back coach off in that thing. I can't wait to see this, man. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But I mean, like I said, bro, at the end of the day, when it comes to Miami, I hope to God this thing works out. I really do. I hope the Carson Beck piece works out. And I just don't want to be in a spin cycle, but I understand what a transfer portal is. I understand what NIL is and how it's changing the landscape of college football. But, but buying the one and dones and not meeting the expectation is just like, my heart can't take it, bro. Like, I got a clock back here, which I probably should have never put up because my head finna explode. In 192 days, I'm finna talk trash. And think about it, Notre Dame lost a lot of people. Yeah. They lost a lot of people. And so.
But they probably got people in their system that believe in their system. Though.
And there you go. But my thing is, how long has Marcus Freeman been there?
I don't know how long it's been. A couple of years.
3 years, I think. Let me see.
But he built it the right. I don't want to say the right way. It's the other ways around.
Marcus Freeman been at Notre Dame since 2021. He's been there just as long as Mario Cristobal. So far as the head coach, he was the defensive coordinator the year before that. So in 21, he was the DC, and then became the head coach in 21 to now. Right? Is that right?
So go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm saying, am I right? Yeah. So that's 4. Yeah. So they've been there the same amount of time. And everybody's going to say, well, coach, his cupboard wasn't bare. Coach, he had good players. Coach, well, guess what? Brian Kelly show left. He couldn't get it done there. And this dude come in 3 years and do what Brian Kelly couldn't do, get him to the ship. Because Brian.
Well, I got a question, though.
Hold on, but real quick, I'm going to say this I got Shad on the line, but real quick before I say that. Everybody said, Brian Kelly had to leave because he couldn't get the talent at Notre Dame to get to the ship. This dude comes in and it's his 3rd year as the head coach.
Yeah.
He goes to the ship with the same team, the same program that everybody said Brian Kelly couldn't win because Brian Kelly couldn't get the same athletes as Ohio State and Alabama and all these people getting. This dude goes to the ship with a Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
So
can't argue that, man.
Yeah.
All I can say is, if anything, you said they hired within, so the culture probably was already set, and they got a way of which they do. Only difference you probably say is Mario Cristobal came in and uprooted what he saw to fit what he wanted to do. And technically, I mean, that can take time, but I wouldn't say that Notre Dame had a better flat-out roster, even though, like I say, Miami secondary was trash, all that. Yeah, let's go with all that. But what we thought that front four was going to be, we thought that front four was going to pull the Eagles versus the Chiefs.
There you go.
Where the
Now
front back
that's what I think.
Be bad,
there
but
you
the
go.
front four was so dominant.
There you go. I think that's what Lance Guidry was banking on. I think Lance Guidry was banking on Ruben Bain, Tyler Barron, Simeon Barrow, and Mesidor being held with cleats on, and it was going to overshadow the deficiencies of the back end, and it didn't happen.
Yep.
I really think that Lance Guidry said, okay, I don't have the Cam Kitchens and the James Williams like I had before, but I got 4. I got the Tyler Barron. Hell, Ruben Bain just coming off a freshman campaign. That's crazy. Simeon Barrow coming out of Michigan State doing his thing. And a Mesidor. Right? Just those front 4. And then I got a Moten and some other guys that could rotate around with them. They won't even be able to get the ball off. They'd be under so much pressure. And it didn't work that way. Damn it.
Nope.
Real quick, man, let me give Canes for Life some love for the $9.99. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Says, Coach, Cane fan here. Live in Auburn, Alabama. Stadium Canes play in and being able to park in the parking lot and tailgates are awesome. Yes, here in Auburn, you can't tailgate by the stadium and traffic is awful. That's my point. Because right around the stadium, they do have parking lots. But if you want to tailgate, you have to do it over there by the science building. Like they got different sections and stuff. And traffic is terrible because you got to remember there are a lot of kids that live on campus. The college students, they live on campus. It's bananas, bro. It's bananas. It is pure chaos on those campus stadiums. So shout out to you, man. Thank you, Canes for Life, for $9.99. I clap it up for me, dog. $9.99 in the field. Appreciate you, man. I just feel sorry that you live in Auburn, Alabama. I used to go hunting up there, man. Tuskegee, man. Shout out to the Yellow Store with the fish sandwiches. But I got my man Shad on here in the back. I'm gonna wrap it up with him. But Jamal, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Don't be a stranger. Call on in, man.
Already, Coach, man. Much love.
For sure. All right, man. My man all the way from DC, man. I got Shad in the building, 1419. King Maul says Kelly took them to the championship. They lost to Bama. Okay. Dang, boy. All things FIU football, Bain is mid. God dang. Juan says, oh, there goes Shad, right? Did you hang up, Shad? Where you go, Shad? Anyway, Coach, Notre Dame to what Miami had is not fair. We needed literally Kirk Herbstreit to put Miami administrators on blast for not wanting to win. No, I'm not. Okay, let me just say this before I bring Shad on. I'm not making a comparison. What I'm saying is a guy came in 3 years and he went there. I'm not saying we should be at the national championship. What I'm saying is add talent. We can't say we didn't have talent. Right? Just weren't winning games, bro. Losing to Middle Tennessee State. Oh, that's Manny's fault. Okay. So 7-5 the next year. Oh, we're gonna blame that on new coordinators? Okay. This year we go 10-2. Who we blame that on? Oh, Lance Guidry? Okay. Now we got a new coordinator. So year 2, when y'all said, oh, we got a new coordinator. But in year 3, you fired a coordinator that was the new coordinator because he didn't do what he's supposed to do there, but maybe because he didn't have a player. But then we got a new coordinator. I'm just trying to understand. This should be interesting, y'all. We got Shad in the building, man. Y'all clap it up for Shad. 17 months in the building, man. Y'all clap it up for Shad. Oh, my bad. Wrong button. right, Shad, talk to me.
What's the subject matter for tonight? I just
Oh.
jump back in. You know, I'm on daddy duty.
Okay, Cuban Kane. Notre Dame played just a week schedule as Miami. Stop the talent excuse. Thank you. We finally agree on some Cuban Kane. Well, I'm gonna go back to the original talent. I mean, the original question was I'm talking about the defensive coaching staff overhaul. And how do you feel about it? I made some point. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I was making points that kind of Coach Cristobal's MO was hiring coaches and like maybe coordinators, but they don't have opportunity to bring any of their guys with them. And we've seen that here in the past couple of years that they don't have an opportunity to bring their guys kind of with them as they come in to help implement, plays, playbook, philosophy, scheme, so forth and so on. What are your thoughts on that? And the second thing, what are your thoughts on the defensive coaching staff overall as a whole?
Oh, I mean, that's a good point, especially when we're talking about, because you've spoken about this in the past on some previous shows, because obviously our defensive coordinator, he hasn't been a coordinator at this level for a long period of time. So obviously that Rolodex probably isn't as deep as, one would like. So it will be interesting to see how these guys mesh in terms of, teaching and, how they get along, because obviously that was one of the bigger issues that ended up leaking out after the first season, was that it's too many chefs in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have some inexperienced guys, from a just a G5 perspective. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of, from a P5 experience, not G5, from a P5 experience. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how this kind of goes together. Obviously, we look at Jason Taylor, the plethora of, the accomplishments that he has, obviously being a Hall of Famer and everything like that. But at the same time, on this level, you don't have a lot of coaching experience. Obviously, getting Damian Lewis in here, all-time Kane great, has coached before, so they should be able to bounce the things off of each other. But I don't really know, because we're talking about getting into a schedule, whereas everyone says the offensive coaches, they get paid too, to where these guys can maybe look at some of his film from Minnesota, maybe even go back and look at some of his film from James Madison and kind of pick up on some of the tendencies that he wanted to do. Because one of the things that it kind of irks me, and maybe you can speak more to this, because obviously you're a coach, you understand this, but I don't really like this mindset of, or this talking point of, or the defense is going to be, easier, guys are going to play faster. And to me, when I hear that, I'm thinking like, well, what happens when the easy stuff is not getting it done? And you have to get into some more complicated things where you have to start showing something pre-snap, and then after the snap, you have to go into something else, or, you have to bluff something to get them, to do something. So I'm just trying to figure out how easy can the defense get to where the point that it may become an Achilles heel, because it's like, to me, it's like you're saying the guys from a football IQ standpoint can't take in a lot. But at this level, and with the way offenses are now, you have to be able to diagnose a lot of stuff. You just can't say, hey, look, we're running cover 3. And like you say, everyone knows, anybody that knows anything about football, all right, these are the weaknesses in cover 3. So if they know, look, you coming out in cover 3, you're not really doing nothing special behind it, you just relying on athletes, they're gonna beat you across the head, So but then moving on to your second part, because I don't want to get too long-winded.
You already passed that. Well, hold on. Let me do this. Let me answer your first question first. So you're saying the narrative is the defense is going to get easier.
That's what everyone is saying, but
okay. But here's what I'm going to say to
that.
But here's what I'm going to say to that right now. First of all, you could probably watch any defensive coordinator press conference across America, from Little League to the NFL. These are the 3 things. We're going to make it easier because we want our players to be fast and physical. Don't have to think. That's going to be the standard script across America when it comes to football, right? Especially on defense. Now,
Yeah.
you can't get no easier than what Lance Guidry was doing. Actually, to your point, if we're strictly playing man, well, damn, you learn that in street football at the house. Hayes, cover Shad. Streeter, cover Cuban Kane. Ready? Break. Let me ask you this. You ever played sandlot football?
Yeah.
How many plays you ever ran in sandlot football? You ever ran cover 3 in sandlot? You ever ran 2? You ever ran cloud and sky? Hell no. You played man.
No, it's man to man.
The biggest discussion was who gonna cover who. Oh, that dude fast.
Yeah.
Hayes can't cover him. Shad, you go over there and cover him. Right?
Yeah, he's fast.
So
He can jump. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So if we have been playing man, to your point, the defense was already as easy as it can get. Now, there were some communication issues in when they motion, but now that goes back to your point. What happens when people start scheming you out of man and putting you in binds and conflicts? So to say the defense is going to be easier, I can't say that's necessarily true. Will it be more understandable? Maybe that's the right word. Maybe I'm semantics here and nuance speaking. But to say it's easier, bro, it was so easy. Hell, we didn't even cover the number 2 receiver on one play. It was that easy that we didn't even know which man to cover. So you can't make it easier. Now, understandable, maybe one thing, right? But I'm just simply so to answer your question is, now the second part of your question was, well, what do you do when people start scheming you up? No, that's where you got to be creative. So it's all about the communication. Can you show one thing and do something else? I say this all the time. There's no such thing as dumb players. There's coaches that can't coach, they can't teach. Because whatever that player did to get there, you better go holler at his high school coach because he sure made him look good. He did enough to make you come look at him. He made you do enough to offer him a scholarship, and he did enough for you for him to sign a scholarship to the University of Miami, and you willing to put up $500,000 just for his education. So that's on you.
Yeah. But you know what? And obviously I know this is, people got subscriptions to sell, they got the fire sales. But you bring up a very interesting point by saying it may be more understandable, because then it brings up another point. Well, how do y'all know this? Are y'all just saying this in hopes that it can't be any worse than what it was?
Chad, don't do this to me, man.
I literally try to give these people a chance. I really do.
Chad, stop it. Chad, I just went through this last year with those Colt numbers. People just be talking, man, and they'll listen to anything because, listen, the word hope is a drug. Hope is just as deadly. HOPE is just as deadly as METH. Once you get it in your system, you can't get it out. You're constantly searching for that same high. If Coach Hayes come on here right now, I have to be honest. If I came on here, listen to this narrative. Man, look here, through my experience, man, Corey Heatherman, he's the best defensive coordinator I've seen. When I looked at the Penn State film, the way he got those guys twisting and stunting and coming off the edge, keeping that contained, and the way he keeps the pressure in on the back end. The quarterback's so confused because of his pre-snap read. And when he does the pre-snap, he doesn't know because he sees that too high shell, right? When he sees that too high shell, he's thinking, what, cover 2 or cover 4? But actually, when they rotate that safety down and give them a one high look, with that robber look. Y'all know how Palomalo used to do for the Steelers, but they give him that one. See, I'm talking with confidence, and then somebody's going to run with that, Shad, and go to another podcast and say, yeah, man, he runs that robber defense like the Steelers. And blah, blah. And I have no basis of saying that bull crap. I'm just talking. That's the problem here. Why? Is because people are addicted to hope. People are addicted to hope. And they want something so bad. Right? That's like the dude on the on the telecommercials at night, right? What they call them, the infomercials. If you take this battery right here and stick it under your tongue, it'll stop acne. For $19.95, you could buy this right here and stick it under your tongue and you won't have acne anymore. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you can get 2 batteries for the same price plus shipping and handling. And it's going to stop acne. You don't think nobody thought about putting a battery under your damn tongue to stop acne? But people want something so bad that they're willing to walk around with batteries under their damn tongue.
Yeah.
And I can come in and I could come on this show and sell you a bill of goods and have you feeling great. And then guess what? When it doesn't go that way, man, Lance Guidry sucks. Corey Heather, man, he's terrible. But I can't do that. That to me, that's disingenuous for me to put Corey Heatherman on a pedestal and I don't know what he possessed. That's not fair. Now, if I had some background information on Corey Heatherman, I could definitely tell you the good and the bad about it. But I don't have enough data to give you information to come up with a valid analysis.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just, like I said, it's interesting. But again, getting back to it, like I said, to the topic. I mean, it is gonna be interesting to see how you guys do coexist, because I do think each one of these guys want to win. Each one of them wants to, prove themselves. Obviously, getting Will Harrison from Florida. Obviously, some of their fans feel like maybe Billy did something in terms of, not promoting him. So I'm sure he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. But at the same time, you're coming in with a chip on your shoulder, maybe because of what, Billy may have done. But your expectations are through the roof because you're coming in the door, back half of that season, second half of the season, Florida's defense need to get better. Most, mainly their secondary. So you're going to be tasked with improving a unit that I don't think I might get ran over for this. I don't think it was so much a talent thing. I think it was, like you said, it was just more so a communication type of thing. Guys just not knowing. Yeah. So that's gonna be his biggest thing to do is like getting the guys to understand communications, but we don't necessarily know if we've addressed that issue because you talked about it, other people have talked about it. Losing Corey Flagg, losing Cam Kitchen, losing James Williams, losing guys that were just football guys from just the mindset of it, studying the game. And then, some people can make an argument and say that, Ed Reed not being on the sideline, kind of giving some tips to the, safeties and stuff. That could have played a role. So,
well, yeah, there's so many variables, Shad. Like to your point, I mean, there's so many variables.
Yeah, that has to be addressed too. Yeah. Yeah,
I'll say this real quick. Terrence Ling in the book says, go look at JMU's defenses, and that will tell you about the new DC. Okay. Yes, that is a valid point. But however, this is the part. But here's the part I'll say, Terrence, and this is no shot at you. You wrote it, so I'm just going to say this. With this fan base, they'll say, but that's G5. That's not the same level, right? That's da-da-da. It's not the same thing. But then let's go to Will Harris. This same fan base will say, Florida sucks. Look at their recruiting class. Right? And then we'll rejoice. Look what we did. We took their best recruiter. So wait. And Shad, damn it, I blame you for this. Because
don't blame me for this.
Right. I blame you because I was trying to get off here in an hour. And an hour and 24 minutes have passed. These last 24 minutes have put me in a spot, and I'm about to lose. I'm about to go off the cliff. Shad,
I didn't do it.
No. Hear what I'm about to say. This fan base will ridicule Florida, and I understand why they do, because that's a rival. You're supposed to. I understand it. Their staff sucks. They can't recruit anybody. But on the same breath, they'll turn around. Will Harris, we took Florida's best recruiter. So we're taking the best of the worst recruiters. So what kind of players we gonna get based on the previous logic?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe, you know, the adage, you know, you going in with a U on your chest versus a blue alligator, the green alligator. You know, maybe that changes things. I don't know. I don't get into the recruiting aspect, but yeah, that is another hypocritical statement. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up, man. E. Brown here. E. Brown called us a griot. I don't know what that means. What does a griot mean? A member of class of traveling poets, musicians, and storytellers who maintain a tradition of oral history in parts of West Africa. He said, you guys sound like griots every offseason. So what are we to expect?
I didn't know the University of Miami started in West Africa. That's new. It is February. It's Black History. That's interesting, bro. I need to find that book.
Matter of fact, this Black History Day is brought to you by E. Brown. He was the first person to actually sew and mold a football together. And the reason the football has laces, because he took it out of his shoe to hold the leather together when he was going back in the barn to get some chicken wire. And he realized, hey, this is softer than chicken wire. And that's why we have laces on the football. Just a quick Black History fact. Shout out to E. Brown.
I'm going to ask you a question.
1335 to present.
So, obviously, like, you know, the playoff format. So, obviously, let's say the Miami Hurricanes make the playoffs. Now, basically, after seeing this trial run this past year, do you feel like that it would be beneficial if we got a top 4 seed versus getting a seed that does not have a first round bye, based on what we just saw this past season, or you don't want to put any credence to that because there's not enough data to back it up?
Okay, hold on. So ask me that. You saying that we should? You saying is it better to get a bye week, like when your conference?
Based on what we just saw from this first iteration of the expanded playoffs, obviously the teams that got the bye week, it didn't really work out so well, versus the teams that essentially took a break, played the first round, then they got a team that was, far more rested than them. I mean, do you think it'll be more beneficial?
So here's what I'll say.
I
don't know if the bye weeks are true. Here's what I'll say. I don't know if the bye weeks are truly bye weeks. I think you're just trading weeks out. There were some teams that, for example, they played in the conference championship game, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, did Ohio State play in the conference championship game?
No.
It
was Penn State and Oregon.
Exactly. So Penn State and Oregon, here's a perfect example.
And Penn State was a loser. Yeah, Penn State was a loser, so they didn't have a first round bye.
Right. So follow me. Penn State, right? I mean, Ohio State did not play in a championship game. Right? No. Penn State and Oregon did. Oregon won. Oregon gets the automatic bye in the playoffs. Is that fair? Is that correct?
Yes.
But remember, Ohio State didn't play in the championship game. So that was their bye week, in essence. Right? So when Oregon was playing, Ohio State was at home.
I see what you're saying.
And then in the first round of the playoffs, Ohio State is playing, and Oregon is at home. You kind of traded them off versus what it should be is the conference championship should be the first round of the playoffs. And then Penn State played an additional game because they didn't get a bye. They played the first round of the playoffs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, because I know even in the NFL, to an extent, some people talk about that kind of being somewhat of a hindrance. You have a team that just played, so they're kind of especially because obviously we're in the playoffs, so these are supposed to be quote unquote based on rankings. These are supposed to be the best teams in the country. So you're stepping in and you gotta already be at 100 against that team, and now you're rolling off of that performance, and now you're going into a team that has to get themselves up to that level. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of thinking about that, because I mean, I would probably want us. I mean, I want us to win the ACC, but if we can get in the playoffs and not win it, I mean, hell, let's
I would rather win
the
I'd rather win the ACC. I want to be in it, win it, and keep rolling. Damn that. Because here's the thing: if you win it, you know you've accomplished a win in the ACC, and you win the playoffs. You mess around and go to the playoffs and drop the first one, you just lost in the playoffs. You ain't got nothing else to show for it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I do think there's too big of a gap between the first round of the playoff. I think the gap is too big as well. So shout out to I guess that's Kyler in Miami Cane, if I said it right. No, Ohio State was off 1 week, but Oregon was off 4 weeks. No, I think the playoffs didn't even start until like the first round wasn't until 3-4 weeks later. I don't know the exact dates. I don't have a timeline. But yes, all I'm saying though is Kyler is they just traded bye weeks, off weeks, right? When Oregon was playing the conference championship game, Ohio State was sitting at home, right? So that's an additional game to the season, right? That's the 13th game of the season, the championship game, right? And then when Ohio State went to play the first round of the playoffs, that was their 13th game of the season. So Ohio State and Oregon meet at both of their 14th game of the season. So you don't have an advantage. It's when you play it may be the advantage, but you're playing the same amount of games.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Colin. But man, Shad, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Y'all ain't finna hold me up in this thing, man. You got one more question? I'm waiting for E. Brown to call in. E. Brown be acting funky lately, man.
Let's ask you one more question, and then I'll let you go. Y'all may have already talked about this, but like I said, I've been out the loop because I've been trying to get into engineering school, so I've been studying my ass off. But
congratulations,
appreciate it. What does it say about Lance Guidry being able to get a rebound job going to LSU and not being relegated going to a P5, being a core? You know, because essentially a position coach at a P5 school is, from a pay perspective, it's probably the same thing as being a coordinator at G5. So I mean, what do you think Brian Kelly saw in him to say, hey, come, you don't have to go back down to G5 to start back over. You can come back over here and you help turn our defense back around and you back in the spotlight again. I mean, what does it say about Lance Guidry? Does it say something positive or is it just like, F it, man, you cost us a playoff berth?
I think one thing that helps him, he's from Louisiana, so that kind of helps. Brian Kelly, is whatever. But two, I think Brian Kelly thinks he's a good coach. And I don't think Guidry's a bad coach, right? There's a reason he got the job. Yeah. There's a reason everybody was in love with him, right? Think about that. There was a reason everybody was in love with him his first year. Man, you're a cool dude. He da-da-da-da-da, all that kind of stuff. Just didn't work out that year. And also Blake Baker called him too, like, hey, we got a spot for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where he is. I'm trying to see. Hold up. I'm trying to see. Wilson. Trying to see where who was on the staff. Who was his staff? I'm trying to see who his staff was. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Is this it right here? Meet the staff. There go the illustrious E. Brown. I'm trying to see. Oh, that's basketball. Get that crap out of here, man. But I don't know why algorithm ain't working right. They don't care about no basketball style. All right, here we go. LSU coaching style. Bless it. I can't find it. Forget them Tigers. But it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, then, cuz it's a one.
Yeah, I got E. Brown on here. This is gonna be good. You know,
Right.
I'm soft, dog. I'll be saying an hour. Look at we already hour 35. It's gonna be another 2 hours. Anyway,
All right. Yeah.
you know, he talked real slow anyway, so it'll be taking film. All right. Y'all put your hands together. Born in 1337, still kicking, still making it happen, was the inventor of the first football. It was a coconut that he laced it up. Lou in the building, what's up with you? It's about to be a nice show. Y'all clap it up for the loquacious, evasive E. Brown.
Well, good morning. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. I mean,
Say good morning.
listen, it's morning.
I missed you, man.
Listen, I really miss you, Coach. I'm glad to have you back on the air, and we are stuck in a rut right now because we've got to listen to the griot stories from now until July, in the end of August, and it's quite frankly it's kind of tiresome. But you know what? Hey, that's what losers do. Losers go into griot stories, and we talk about things that matter much about nothing. And I have to sit back and eat some of my words from last year, especially when it comes to Mr. Cuban Kane. I know he's out there. He's always out there listening.
Oh,
I know he's out there. And but you know what? Let me say this. Your show there with you and Really Flawed and the other young man. I really enjoy it. I sit back and I listen to it. You guys ought to let Really Flawed speak more often because she knows what she's talking about. You two guys have absolutely no damn idea what you're talking about. You and that damn other guy. Really Flawed brings it. She's intriguing and she makes me think, and I go, holy crap, man, I got to do that, you know. So I just want to throw a shout out to you guys for your show in the 7 o'clock hour, from the 7 o'clock to whatever hour that you guys are on. You very informative.
Thank you.
But tonight we're talking about the University of Miami, some of our coaching moves and some of the moves we're making with players and so on and so forth. But I don't see anything that will give me the rise to go, hey, listen, we are going to compete for a playoff spot. I don't think we're going to, be there, compete for a playoff spot, and even compete for a national championship. We're still waiting on the coaching staff to step up and coach our players. And you can see I'm grasping for words, man. I'm grasping for topics. I'm grasping for something to say, man, because there's absolutely nothing I can say about it. I'm like you. I'm ready to fall asleep too. I'm ready to fall asleep as well. I mean, I can't come down on anybody. I can't say anything, negative because I really haven't seen anything happening with the program that will essentially put me on fire. So if you can expound on it, just enlighten me a little bit.
You mean you're
and
not
let me
over?
know what you think, and then I could maybe I could comment and make a comment. And
E. Brown, are you
go into
overjoyed
another
about the
soliloquy.
defensive coordinator? As everybody else
I'm doing what
is?
now?
Are you overjoyed at the defensive coordinator hire like everybody else?
It's a refreshing change that we have a new person in the position.
I mean, it's our third one in 4 years, so I mean, it's not a big deal.
I know, yeah, like I said, it's a refreshing change. I mean, it's the inevitable. This is what happens with the University of Miami. We change coaches. We go and find guys who are run-of-the-mill coaches and bring them in, and then we talk them up and make them think that at least this guy doesn't have a mustache that's over his lip, and he's walking around with a tight T-shirt on and yelling and screaming. I haven't seen that yet. Okay, I haven't seen that yet. I can't wait until the spring football starts so we can see these guys running around in T-shirts and shorts, so that we can make an assessment on the football team from the standpoint of watching these guys run around catching the football in T-shirts and shorts. So, and listen, that's all we have to look forward to for right now. It's all we got to look forward to. I mean, it's, you and Streeter are, you guys are, man, you guys are boring. And thank God for Really Flawed. I got to tell you, thank God for Really Flawed because she brings it.
We're boring. Okay. I'm listening. Go ahead. We'll take it. I'm gonna make sure I tell you that we're bored.
Yeah, you guys are bored. I mean, it's, what can I say, man? What can I say?
So
where's Cuban Kane?
Hold on. So basically, what you're saying is,
where's Cuban Kane? Where is Shad?
Hold on. So basically, what you're saying is watching me in Street. So basically, what you're saying is watching me in Street is equivalent to listening to you talk right now. It's like dragging.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You're absolutely correct, young man. You're absolutely correct.
I bet
absolutely correct.
You call everybody young man. You was born in 1337.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, you look like an older Albie Shore sitting there with your gray beard. You like an elder statesman there, but yeah, I mean, my goodness, man. My goodness, I have absolutely nothing to. I have absolutely nothing to add to it. Nothing to add to it.
Oh man, E-Brown, I missed you, dog. Where you been, man? That boy said like an old Albie Shore. That's all right though. Y'all keep talking. I'll be Wesley Snipes. Man. Y'all too funny, man.
No, you can't. Hey, listen, you can't be Wesley now. You can't be Wesley. You can't be West, man. You gotta stay on the light skin side. You gotta stay on the light skin.
Hold on, E-Brown. You got all the ladies in here laughing at me. You got Smiley laughing at me. You got Really Flawed laughing at me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So. Hey, listen. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna take in the show for the next couple of weeks and see where you guys go. And again, listen, I enjoy your show in the early evenings, and it's part of my keep me going moments for the day. Okay?
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Keep me going.
Man, I missed you.
You guys are very good, man. You guys are good. I'm joking, but you guys are good.
I appreciate it, man. We have fun with it, man. Really quick. Have you spoken to, we'll keep the name nameless, but have you spoken to Black Butterfly at all, man? I hope all is well with her.
No, I have not. I have not. I've seen her on the Discord.
Okay.
earlier in the year, but I haven't sent her a message or haven't heard from her.
All right. Well, I'm gonna definitely
No, I
reach
haven't
out.
heard
I'm gonna
anything.
reach out to her, make sure everything. I know she was working on some stuff to get some you know that stuff she was working on when she was working on it because she was working on it. If you know what I'm saying.
No. Enlighten me, my light skinned brother. Enlighten me. I don't know what she was working on.
I'll let you know when the purple crocodile with blue spots roars at midnight. I'll let you know.
What? What do you think? What do you think you're on the Flintstones or something? The purple crocodile with blue stripes? Where are we going?
I forgot there was I forgot there was an age limit to this stuff. Okay. We'll talk about it on the back end, man. Because you know.
Hey, listen, let me ask you this. The interstate sports. Are you still I see the advertising there.
Yeah. Trevor's still in business, man. He's still rolling.
He's still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still rolling.
Okay.
I gotta give him a call too. I haven't talked to him in a little bit.
Yeah. You got to do that. I mean, you got to do that. I mean, you've been out of pocket there for a little bit, and you know, I know you just finished purchasing a new home, and me myself, I just bought another house. And I'm going to close on it later on next month.
Oh man!
So,
congratulations, man.
So I'm in the process of moving there too, man. I mean, all that crap you have behind you there, all those T-shirts and
you don't like
jerseys
you don't like this
and
stuff
pictures and stuff.
You don't like that
back
stuff
there.
back there? That's all memorabilia, man.
I mean, what are you? You know,
I got a picture.
Listen,
I got a picture of you and Moses back here too. You don't see it right there? There's a picture of you and Moses back there.
That's a good one there, Coach. You committed a funny. That was a funny there. That was a good one.
Man, you don't like my stuff. You don't like my stuff in the big time. I got T-shirts. You don't like my stuff in the background?
No, not really. I mean, you know, I mean, were those the numbers you wore in high school, or?
No, these are my players, man. These are all my players. A coach, man. That's my man Milton.
Oh, okay.
There's a player. That's his jersey. That's his Tennessee jersey.
Okay.
Golly, bro. He's right here, boy.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I know today they were holding.
My bad, DP.
meeting.
I'm coming. You know, Loquacious E. Brown on the line. My bad, DP. Go ahead.
They were holding the meetings with the commissioners of the NCAA football. Those two guys from the SEC and the Big Ten, who they're just running everything. And now what I've heard is they're changing some of the dynamics of the playoff system. So they're contemplating either adding going to a 14-team playoff or a 16-team playoff, and it's all incumbent upon whether or not the Big Ten or the SEC says, "Hey, you got to give us 4 positions, 4 spots." Then you can get an ACC 2 spots, and we're supporting that stuff, man. I mean, you know.
And there's back to my point. What's the purpose of having a playoff if people are already given a berth, regardless of if they won or lose? Like, this is.
Yeah,
I'm about to cover Little League.
That's my thing, man. That's my thing. They're taking the fun. They're taking the fun out of the NCAA football season when you start giving teams positions. And guess what? They're going to put a special clause into the rules that will allow Notre Dame to participate because they're not associated or affiliated with a conference.
Right.
What the heck is that, bro? What is that? I mean, you're talking about.
Right.
Oh God.
I got you. I understand. I got you, man.
Well,
Well,
it's kind of frustrating. So, hey, listen, you guys, you keep up the good work and just keep us engaged, and we'll.
I'll try my best, man. I know I'm gonna let you get back to that lazy boy slobbing on your wife beater when you drop the remote on the floor.
Actually, I just come. I was at the supermarket listening to your show, and I just walked out of the supermarket, and just to get online here to speak with you a little bit. So that's why I'm looking around. People are looking at me, and I'm telling them that I'm on the program here with you, and quite frankly, you got some fans here in Palm Beach County, man. They all know about you.
Thank you, man.
So,
thank you, man. Tell everybody at George and Jerry's IGA I said hello.
I'm not at George and Jerry's. I'm not at Presidente. I'm not at I'm at Publix. Okay, I'm at Publix. Shout out to my to Publix. Shout out to Publix. I'm at Publix right now, and I'm spending a little money. Okay.
I'm gonna get deep here on line, but I got one question for you. What's the price of eggs?
I just bought some eggs, and they were, gosh, I didn't pay any attention. I know that I bought 10 items. And I spent $200 now. Let me tell you that, okay?
190 of it was all eggs. But anyway, man, let me get deep here on the line so I can get up off here. Man, I said, look, didn't I tell you gonna be another 25 minutes? An hour and 52 minutes on here. Messing around with E. Brown.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Coach. Keep us entertained, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks a lot, bro. My man, E. Brown in the building, talking that talk. All right, DP, you the last one. Let me lock this thing.
The conference has been locked.
All right, DP in the building. What's up with you, man? Talk to me. What's your thoughts about this? Let's get it rocking.
What it do, Coach, man? I missed the topic, man. I had to turn it down. I was working on my video when you first came on. I had to turn it down. What we were talking about? I wanted to talk about that craziness SEC and got dang Big Ten doing. But what was the topic tonight?
Well, that's what he was just talking about. But no, we were just talking about the defensive staff overall and the overhaul of the defensive staff, the coach not getting the defense coordinator bringing anybody with them. Do you think that could be a hindrance to the progress of the team? And what's your thoughts of the defense overall?
Man, we went over this a little bit the last time I called you, but the defense overall, the only person I really feel good about is Damian Lewis, Coach D. Lewis. Not to say that I feel like the other coaches is gonna be bad or nothing. I just feel good about D. Lewis. I know Corey Heatherman, as far as Division I football, he's still fresh. Will Harris, we don't know if he's gonna be on the coaching staff. We got the coach Zach Efforts. I don't know much about him. I heard he's a good developer. But as far as with the defense, I'm just looking forward to seeing, and this is also with the offense too, just in general. I'm looking forward and seeing the guys that are like considered sophomores to see how they progress, to see if they are actually developing from the year prior to this upcoming season. See if they're getting bigger, stronger, faster, look like they ready to actually play.
That's fair.
Because like you said, a lot of people, they want to talk about the new toys. Oh, we got this freshman coming in, we got that freshman coming in. Oh, we got some guy that was just freshman last year. And we need to make sure get some damn work done or looking better. Because if not, what the hell going on, Coach?
Talk to you, boy. Y'all know me. I'm going to give it to y'all raw. Blood raw. That's all I can tell you. Like I said, I can't pump smoke. You know what I mean? Up your behind. All I can do is tell you how I feel about it. And I'm big on letting people do what they're going to do, right? I'm big on allowing people to kind of set their baseline. And I think it's unfair if you attack somebody one way or the other, right? I think it's unfair if you give a person that's just getting into this too much praise, because now the expectation is not fair, right? Now, again, we didn't hire this guy. That's not my hire. I'm on the outside looking in. He may blow the expectations out the window through the interview process, getting on the board, talking, teaching. When you call other coaches, what do you like about this guy? What don't you like about this guy? I don't know. But then on the other hand, can't call him trash either, because we don't know. I just simply say, I'm gonna find out in the spring though. I don't know if I'm gonna be in the
that's what I'm
building.
looking forward to, man.
500 tickets or something like that? Some foolishness. That's matter of fact, shout out to Jamal from DC. The reason they give out 500 tickets to an on-campus thing, because you ain't got nowhere to park all these dang on people. So you give out 500 tickets to go to the little soccer field back there, whatever it was they did last year. When you bring all them people on campus, man, it'll be mayhem. You see the dude from Allstate driving through,
Yeah, and it should be something that everybody can see, but it is what it is. At least they're trying to make it seem like it's kind of a home environment. They're doing it on campus. I guess I can give it that much kudos. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to seeing this spring, man. I'm looking forward to see Armando Blunt. I'm looking forward to see Cole McConaughey, Malik Bryant, what those young guys been doing. Joshua Scott. I mean, Justin Scott. I'm talking about Joshua Scott. I don't know who that is. I'm talking about, must be about to say Joshua Horton. But yeah, those guys that we ain't seen. I'm looking to see if Popo Aguirre is ready to make some noise, ready to play some football. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
no,
to the topic E. Brown was talking about, man, how do you think the college football landscape will look if the SEC and the Big Ten just basically take their ball and go home? Like, hey, we finna start our own conference. We're going to schedule each other, and we're going to make our own playoffs. Everybody else, hey, tough luck. We don't know what to tell you. How do you feel like that would affect the landscape of college football?
Oh, I think it'll do a lot. I think what you're seeing is power plays for the mega conferences. That's all you're seeing. You're just seeing people making power plays for the mega conferences. That's it. But at this point, see, like, to me, I don't see. To me, I mean, this is where money corrupts, right? These programs are wealthy, dog. We're talking about $17 million, $1 billion endowments, whatever it is. $17 billion endowment, and they still want to have more. It's like it's greed. And you're about to tear up a whole thing because you want more money and more money and more. And so at this point, it's whatever, bro. I don't know why it's almost like politics. Don't feed me a bunch of bull crap when at the end of the game, this is what you really want to do. Let's skip all the bull crap and just do what you really want to do. You want to hike up the price of eggs? Well, then hike them up and don't tell me all the other foolishness. Make them $25 a dozen and call it a day. But don't tell me, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing that. And before you know it, in 6 months, eggs $25. Just make it $25. Hey, in 6 months, the eggs going to be $25. Deal with it or don't eat eggs. Guess what? Next year, we're going to have 2 power conferences. These are teams that's going to be in it. Be a college fan or not. And call it a day.
And me personally, though, even though the Big Ten, SEC, last couple of years, they've been the main team to win national championships. I ain't going to lie. But like a lot of people been saying lately, they just been top heavy. It's the same couple of teams from the top of the conference doing what it do. So me personally, I don't feel like the conferences, as in the SEC and the Big Ten, that much ahead of every other conferences. Because I feel like the transfer portal is starting to really eat from those rosters and not allowing them to stack and hoard all that talent like they did in the early 2000s, and you feel me, the early 2010s and stuff like that. Now they can't hoard all the talent, and now they're trying to do like basically a power flip, a power move, trying to take all the power back.
So here's my thing, DP. I'll just say this and kind of really be done with it. The SEC and the Big Ten, if you look at it from a geographical standpoint, those teams sit in the heart of football. Let's just call it what it is. They sit in the heart of football. Ohio is a big football state. Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, the southern states, Alabama, all that. These are old football teams, bro. These teams, call them, they're originators. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. The University of Miami is 100 years old. The university itself.
And it's school older than that.
It's only 100 years old. Bro, I saw University of Tennessee was 17 something. Hold up. When the university, I just saw this today. A guy I work with go to Tennessee. The University of Tennessee was founded in, I want to say 1795. The University of Tennessee, 1794. 1794, the University of Tennessee was founded. I'm just saying, this is old football. They are the originators, these teams. And they're sitting in the mecca where football is king. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to take time, and I think they understand the big play, that the transfer portal and all that stuff is going to pull people away. But that's why the SEC and the Big Ten win the natty the majority of the times, because they sit right in the mecca of all of this. Florida, even though it's the mecca now of current recruiting, but it doesn't. This is where the talent is, but the roots of it were in the SEC Big Ten areas. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
That make a lot of sense, Coach. And honestly, the state of Florida, it don't do itself justice when it comes to their high school football. I feel like the state of Florida as a whole should pump money into every high school football program across the state, because we really built the NFL. Every NFL team got at least 4 or 5 players from the state of Florida on their roster, from the top to the bottom of the state of Florida. The state of Florida got to do much better than
DP, you got to
What's up, Coach?
You got to stop that thinking, dog. Why do I need to spend money when I'm getting it for free? Why do I need to get?
You got that right.
Why do I need to invest a bunch of money into high school football and stadiums and all the other stuff when I'm still producing the best players? Everybody comes here for that, and it costs me nothing more than what it is. I'm actually trying to find ways to shave even more money off. When I don't need, when everybody's still coming here, Florida's known for this. And it costs us, we have no overhead. We pay coaches nothing. We don't have facilities. We don't do this, but we still got the best thing. What do women always say? Why pay for the milk when the cow free or something like that? Why pay for the cow for the milk free? Whatever it is. It's the same thing. Why should I invest a bunch of money when I'm getting a grade A product out of it? That's capitalism.
They gotta look at the big picture, Coach, man. You got states like Georgia, Texas. They pumping money in their football program because they know football bring money.
And what? And so what? So what that they're pumping money in Georgia? Let's say in the state of Georgia, they putting a bunch of money into the high school programs and so forth. Florida still is arguably the number one.
It's gonna get to a point where those kids gonna move.
Do you think somebody mama gonna move because y'all got a stadium?
No, you gotta think about it, Coach. Land cheaper in Texas and Georgia also, so they might be doing better by moving.
Come on, DP. Work with your.
I'm just speaking in hypotheticals, Coach.
I mean, only time we gonna move if a natural disaster happens. I told you the reason Georgia got better was because of the natural
even then we might throw a party.
We still gonna throw a party. So I'm just saying that the state of Florida is in shambles. They're not going to fix it unless they're forced to fix it. Like anything, like any other social problem in America. Until you're forced to fix it, I'm not going to fix it. Right? It's like a dude with a 30-year-old car. And they be like, man, get a new car. You're like, for what? I don't need no car payment. It get me where I need to go. Right? Right? You get me from A to B. So why I need to go out there?
Yeah, as long as they do the job, shoot, I ain't worried about it. You're right, Coach.
So that's the same thing. Guess what? We still known for football. We still putting the top players out. Everybody and they mama come down here and fly to Florida to get the top players. We produced this, and I don't have to spend $1.
You're right, Coach. They're like free advertisement.
You go. There you go.
But all right, Coach, man, I'm gonna let you go, man.
I appreciate it,
But
man.
shoot, I just gotta say, side to Uncle Luke, man, he got me in trouble when I was legit. I was looking at that poster, as nasty as we want to be. Uncle done caught me in the room. I ain't gonna tell you what I was doing, but shout out to Uncle Luke, man, got me in trouble when I was jitterbug.
Hey. Hey, remind me not to ever shake your hand. I just got to give you that. But I'll just say this, man. Shout out to Uncle Luke. That boy done got a lot of people in trouble. I done told Luke already. That boy had me lying to my mama talking about I'm going over to my cousin house. We was at the back to school gym.
Oh, man.
Hey, and
that's real. That's real.
That song Throw the D. I had my mama go pick it up for a school talent show. It's supposed to be the clean version. She got the nasty version. And I'm like,
oh, Lord.
Throw that. Throw that. I'm like, bruh, I almost got
you didn't get expelled?
I almost got suspended, man. Luckily, we knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. So you had it made, Coach.
Anyway, we're going to make it happen, man. But DP, let the people know where they can find you, man. I know you be putting out that great content, bro.
Man, you can find me at Talking Sports with DP, man. Come like, share, subscribe, give me comments, call me ugly, do all that. I don't care. But thank you, Coach, for the opportunity, man.
Anytime. They're going to call you more than ugly, but not what you just revealed. The boy. Hey, they already, DP was making sock puppets. Boy, look at you, boy. You don't mess around.
And I was young, too. It was when Miami went to their last national championship in 2002. I was hurt.
You was more than hurt if you was doing that to the poster.
Had to calm myself down, Coach.
Like that? That's how you had to calm yourself down? I'm going to leave that alone.
I'm out, man. I'm out.
You right on that one. I hope your lady ain't watching this, boy. She going to be hot with you. We out of here, man. We out of here, man. Peace, love, and hair grease, man. Hey, this be fun, man. I'm glad we back in the saddle, making it happen, man. It's great to be back talking to these Cane fans. This is Canes Talk Live with Coach Hayes on the Coach and Coach podcast. Y'all go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Notre Dame, you on the clock, baby. 192 days, 15 hours, 5 minutes, and 55, 54, 53 seconds. Well, we put foot in that behind in the hard rock. With all that being said, I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. Hey, Coach, I'll holler at y'all. And for everybody that donated, thank y'all. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody because I want to make sure. Canes for life. Appreciate you, Shad. Thank you, man, for being a member for 17 months. And we out of here. Peace. Somebody passed me my cane juice. That damn E. Brown got on here calling me a griot. I had the dog on Google that just to find out what that means. So, man, I'm an African poet. That's what I'm talking about.